Welcome to the continuation of our English class today. Today, we are continuing with disjunctive. Disjunctive. All right. Disjunctives can also be called tag question. All right. Tag question or question tag or question tags. All right. So disjunctive are tagged attached to a question. They are tags, okay, attached to a question. For example, Joseph can do the job. Joseph can do the job. All right, comma, can't he? So the disjunctive is this can't he. Put it in quotes. Can't he is the disjunctive. All right. So let's look at the following rules that guide, disjunctive. The first rule number 1, is that disjunctive is usually separated from the statement with comma. All right. Comma what? Separates disjunctive. All right. Look at it here. That's why you have comma here. The second rule is a positive statement goes with a negative tag. Number 2, positive statement to negative tag. Positive to what? Negative tag, or let's just put it like this, to negative tag. All right. For example, positive statement to negative tag. Joseph can do the job. Is this a positive statement? Remember what I told you about distinguishing between positive and negative statement. Positive statement always comes with the ability to do something. There is the ability for something to happen. Then a negative statement usually have not in it, showing the inability of something to happen, for the inability of someone to do something. That's a negative statement. So for this statement, Joseph can do the job. Is it a positive or negative statement? It's a positive statement, right? So it says positive statement goes with negative tag. So for a positive statement, the auxiliary verb, as this verb, remember I taught you what an auxiliary verb is. How do you know this auxiliary verb? I said an auxiliary verb is a helping verb in a sentence. All right. So all those verbs that can be converted to with the ending of nt, all right, nt or not. All right. For example, can, you can convert this to what? Can't, right? So can is an auxiliary verb. Ought, you can ought, GHT, you can convert this to oughtn't. All right. Oughtn't. All right. You can go. Can you convert go? No. Do, you can convert do to what? Don't. All right. So these are auxiliary verbs. All right. Where, you can convert this to what? Wearen't. All right. All right. Was, wasn't, had, hadn't, have, had, haven't, and so on and so forth. So these are auxiliary verbs. All right. So the auxiliary verb here is can, and can shows what? Positive, positive statement. So you should go with what? Negative tag. So what is the tag? Can't he is the tag. Is can't negative or positive? It's negative, right? Because it has not or the nt, right? So that's that. Number 3 law, the third law. This is very easy. Just relax, calm down. All right. It says that the auxiliary verb and subject are repeated in a sentence. So it is this auxiliary verb that you use to create the tag in either a positive or negative form. For example, here now we have can, and in the tag we put can't. All right. You are still going to repeat the same auxiliary verb. All right. As easy as A, B, C, D. Then the fourth one is negative statement goes with positive tag. So you all know that positive statement goes with negative tag and the other way around. So let's say we have negative statement, for example, like let's put it negative statement. Okay, negative to positive. What's the negative statement we are going to put? Let's say he can't do the job. All right, comma. Remember, you separate with the comma. So what is the tag that we are going to put now in quotes? This is a negative statement because it has not, right? So we are going to put positive, right? Convert the auxiliary verb to positive. So we put can he, right? Can he? All right, so this is the tag. Can he? So the next one is, the next rule is, the same auxiliary verb in the sentence is repeated in the tag. We've talked about that before. All right. Then another rule is the subject is repeated. Okay. The subject is repeated. You repeat the same subject. Okay. He. Can he? Can't he? Joseph. He here is representing Joseph, right? Subject, position. Here, he is representing he here. All right. So the subject and the tag is repeated. Okay. Is it the subject and the tag? The subject and the auxiliary verb is repeated in the tag. Okay. So that's that for that. Then the next rule is, excuse me. The next rule is the tense of the statement should be the same in the tag. All right. Maintain the tense. I always say this. Okay. Maintain tense. If you look at this one now, he can't do the job. What tense is this? This is a present tense now. He can't. It's telling you that he cannot do the job. It's a present tense. It's in present tense. So maintain the tense. This one is Joseph can do the job. This is still in the present tense. So maintain tense. All right. So for example, he was there. Okay. What tag do we put here? This is the auxiliary verb. This is the what? The subject, auxiliary verb. So we convert this auxiliary verb to what? To the negative form, because here it's in positive form. So we are going to put wasn't, right? Wasn't he, right? Repeated in the tag. So that's that for that. Maintaining the tense. Okay. This one is a past tense. Okay. It's an expression in past tense. Okay. So the next one is that when we encounter a statement without an auxiliary verb, what do we do? If you encounter a statement without auxiliary verb, like all these verb, auxiliary verb, what do you do? Use don't or use do or don't. Okay, depending on the statement. Is it positive part? So for example, you like orange. You like orange. So no auxiliary verb here. Like is not an auxiliary verb. There's nothing like liking you. No. So like is not an auxiliary verb. So you use don't you. Remember, positive statement goes with what? Negative tag. You like orange. You like orange is a positive statement. No not in it. So don't you. Okay. Or subject repeated. You repeated. But we use don't or do. Okay. Depending on the nature of, the statement. All right. So when you don't have auxiliary verb in the sentence, you use what? You use don't. All right. You use don't or you use do. The next rule is that positive command goes with positive tag. All right. Positive command. We've been talking about statement. Now we are looking at positive command. We've been talking about statement. That positive statement is not command. For example, Joseph can do it. Okay, that is what a statement is, not a command. But positive statement. Okay, command goes with what? The same positive. Okay, positive command. All right. Or goes with positive tag. All right. So positive command goes with positive tag. All right. Positive tag. For example, get up. Get up. This is a positive word command. So remember, if you don't have auxiliary, what do you use? You use don't. You can use will. You can use can. Okay. So here now, since we are talking about positive command, the command here is get up. Is a command. It's positive. Get up. Positive command. Get up. What do we use here? We can use will you. Will you. Positive. Okay. Will is positive. Get up. Will you. We can also say get up. Put it in quotes. We can also say get up, comma, in quotes, can you? Okay, both are correct. All right, can you? Question mark. All right, that's that for that. We can also say let us go. Let us go. This one is a command, positive command. Let us go. Comma, shall we? Shall we? Remember to always repeat the subject in the tag. Shall we? Question mark. So you can see let us. Look at it. This is the subject. Let us. Us is the subject. All right. It's part of the subject. So we is us. We is for the object position. Us is for the what? Subject position. All right. Let us go. Let us go. So we. Another one is get up. Will you? You know, you are referring to someone. Get up. Can you? Get up. Will you? So it's a command. Positive command goes with what? Positive tag. So another thing you have to note is must. Must is an auxiliary verb. All right. And it is positive in meaning. All right. But mustn't, mustn't, mustn't. Okay, this mustn't is supposed to be negative in meaning, right? Because it has not, right? But it is not negative in meaning, and this is not in existence. Okay, there's nothing like mustn't as a negative meaning or a negative tag for must. This one is supposed to be negative, right? But this one is an exception. This one is not negative in meaning. Mustn't is not negative in meaning. Okay, so the negative form of this is needn't. Needn't. All right, needn't. So we must go. We must go. Okay, we must go. We can say yes, we must. Yes, comma, we must. All right. This one is a response. Yes, we must. This one is a positive response. All right. Positive tag. All right. Yes, we must is positive. All right. Then what about the negative? What if the response is no? The response is we must go. We are going to put here no, no, we needn't, not we mustn't. All right. That's that for disjunctives. All right. Now let's look at subjunctive. Subjunctive. Subjunctives are forms used to express unreal situations, imaginations. They are used to express unreal situations and imaginations. After this, we look at stress, word stress. Subjunctives are used to express unreal situations, things that is less likely to occur, things that will less likely be a reality. Also, imagination, wish, thought. That's what we use subjunctive to express. There are words that are called subjunctives. Subjunctive. All right. Remember, they are used to express what? Wish, wishes, imagination, unreal situations. All right. So that's what we use subjunctives to do. All right. They include, these are the words: if, it's high time, it's time. All right. Which other one again? I would rather. No, I would rather is not the subjunctive. All right. If only, I wish. All right. Which other one do we have? As if, it's about time. It's about time. Okay. Suppose / supposing. As if, suppose / supposing. All right. So these are the most common subjunctives. All right. So let's look at the law of subjunctives. Small law day. All right. What are the law? It says that the future is expressed in past tense. The future and present express future / present in past tense. So when talking about future and present, express it with past tense. When talking about past tense, when talking about the past, when talking about the past, you express the past with, you express the past. How do we express the past? we express that with past perfect tense. Okay, past expressed with past perfect tense. Past perfect. All right, tense. So you express the past, what happened in the past, with past perfect tense. All right. So don't forget this golden rule. Future and present situation, you express it in what? In past tense. Past situation, you express it in past perfect tense. All right. We've already treated tenses now, right? Now let's look at the present first of all. Okay, for present, let's just do that here. Present, expressing present situation. All right. For the present, we have example like if I were you. Remember, if is a subjunctive, right? So if I were you, comma, I would not do that. I dash not do that. So what should be here? If is a subjunctive, right? If I were you. Where is already telling us that this is a past expression. All right? It's a past expression. With if I were you, I would not do that. If I were you. If I were you, I would not do that. So this is trying to tell us about, is this a past, because here we are expressing something that didn't happen. Okay, we are expressing something that didn't happen. He said if I were you. It's not the person now. I am not him. Okay, so that is expressing future. All right, is the future, because I'm not him. The person is talking like if I were you. Okay, is the future. So what do we use? Future and present, we use past tense. So are we supposed to put I will not do that or I would not do that here? We use past tense, right? So we use would. So I would not do that is the correct expression. So if you go and be putting will here, okay, that's going to give you issue. All right, that's going to give you issues. All right, I would not do that. So present is also expressed in the past tense, and the past is expressed in past perfect tense. All right, so that's that for that. The next that we are looking at, for example, let me give another example. If I am you, comma, I dash not do that. All right, so if I am you, I dash not do that. So if I am you, we can't use am to express the future because am is present. Okay, so we are trying to express future here. All right. So we can't use am here. So this am here has made the sentence to be wrong or the statement to be wrong. All right. So we can't use this. All right. If I am you, I will not do that. If I am you, I will not do that. I think let's take this thing again. Okay. Let's take this again. I would not do that. All right. Looking at the next example, we dealt with the present. Okay. If I were you, I would not do that. Okay. Let's see this one as this is a present statement. If I were you, I would not do that. If I were you, I dash not do that. If I were you. So you are telling someone in the present that if I were you, I would not do that. I wouldn't have done that. All right. I would not have done that. It's the same thing now. So this is for the present. All right. So it's a present, it's a present, expression. All right. It's a present statement. Now let's look at future statement. Future. All right. For future statements, that's where we use the I wish I dash a house. I wish I dash a house. What are we going to put here? I wish is already telling us that this is a future, I wish is a disjunctive, right? Look at it now. I wish is a subjunctive. All right? Subjunctive. Then And this subjunctive is a future tense, right? It's talking about the future. I wish I dash a car. I wish, okay, I wish to dash a car, not I wish I dash a car. I wish I dash a car should be present. All right. So this one, I wish to dash a car or a house. I wish to dash a house. So what are we going to put here? Are we going to put present tense or past tense? We are expressing the future. I wish to what someone wish in the future. What are we going to put here? We use what? The same past tense, right? I wish to have a house. Okay. I wish to have a house. Is this statement correct? I wish to have a house. Let's use another statement. All right. Let's use I wish I could. I wish I dash. Okay. So I wish I dash see you now. Okay. This makes more sense. I wish I dash see you now. I wish I dash. So this is talking about the future. What are we going to put here? Present tense or past tense? So past tense. I wish I could. We use could here. Okay, not can. I wish I could see you now. So that's correct. I wish I can see you. If you put can here, it becomes wrong because we are expressing future. All right. We have other examples like okay, I would rather. I would rather is also a subjunctive. I would rather. Okay. I would rather. So let's say I would rather. Let me just use that smaller version. I would rather you dash him tomorrow. Him tomorrow. All right. I would rather. This one is a subjunctive, right? I would rather you that. So this would rather is already telling us is something in the future, right? So what do we put here? Future we use past tense, right? So I would rather, is it I would rather you meet him tomorrow or I would rather you met him tomorrow? We use met, right? Past tense. Met. So I would rather you met him tomorrow. Now let's look at past tense. Okay, when the statement is expressed in the past, what do we use? What do we put? We use past perfect tense, right? So when expressed in the past, we use past perfect tense. Please look at more examples, okay? In the lesson notes, you have everything there. All right. For the past tense, looking at the past tense, what is expressed in the past, we use past perfect tense. Okay. So for example, which past example we use now? I wish you had written, you had dashed. I wish you dashed the letter yesterday. For past, okay, I wish you dash the letter yesterday. All right. What do we put here? I wish you dash the letter yesterday. This is talking about the past, something that happened in the past. I wish you dashed the letter yesterday. I wish you dashed the letter yesterday. Something that happened in the past. Since we are tracing back to the past, we express in what past perfect tense. Okay. So remember the past perfect tense, what it looks like. Okay. Had. Always with had, right? Had and a past participle. All right. So we are going to put had written. All right. Written. All right. So I wish you had written the letter yesterday. I wish you had written the letter yesterday. All right. So, I wish I had a book. Okay. I wish I had a book. All right. So when you see to in the sentence, to in the statement, to, or when to is added to the statement, it makes this statement to become real. It is no longer regarded as a subjunctive. Okay. So do not use past tense or past perfect tense for it. No. Provided you see to there, it's no longer a subjunctive. It becomes real. For example, I wish to buy a car. This one is no longer a subjunctive again. Okay. Don't put but here. I wish to bought a car. No. You use, you use present tense. Another one is real. Okay. Another one is it's time to go there. it's time to go there. All right. Why not put it's time to went there? Because there is to. All right. And also had better is not a subjunctive and should not take past tense. Okay. Had better is not a subjunctive and should not take past tense. For example, you had better dash there. Should it be go or went? The answer is obviously what? Go. You had better go there. Or you had better dash what you were told. You had better dash what you were told. Okay, since had better is not a subjunctive, what are we supposed to put here? Is it present tense or past tense? We put present tense, right? You had better do what you were told. So if you go and put you had better did what you were told, wrong. Okay, it's not even, we are not even supposed to use were here. We're supposed to use are, what you are told. Okay, because had better don't take what you are told. Okay, had better is not a subjunctive and don't take past tense. So you had better do what you are told. All right, don't make that mistake. So do not forget to do the exercises you have in the lesson note. All right, do all the exercises. Those exercises is going to make you stronger. So let's really look at real and unreal situation. This one is very close to subjunctive, very close. Real and unreal situation. This one is very easy. Okay, very easy. It's just small laws that are just binding all these topics in English. Small laws. Real and unreal situation. Okay, real / unreal. All right. We usually use present tense to express something that will happen, that will likely happen, that will likely be a reality. All right. Then we use past tense to express something that will not, will most likely not be a reality. All right. For example, by the end of the year, let me just put it here. Example, by the end of the year, I dash have come. Okay, I must have dash my degree. Okay, my degree course. So by the end of the year, I must have dash my degree course. So what does this mean? Is this real? Is this likely going to be a reality? By the end of the year, I must. This person is saying must have dash my degree course. So this is likely going to be a reality because this person is sure. The person is even using must here. All right. So are we supposed to use present tense or past tense? We are supposed to use what? Present tense, because it's real. It's likely going to be a reality. So we are going to put must have complete. All right, not completed, complete, because it's what is real. Okay. Okay. I must have complete. All right. So let's look at another example. Okay. By the end of the year, all right. By the end of the year, I dash have seen my mom. By the end of the year, I dash have seen my mom. So what does this mean? Okay. So if we put a present tense here, if we put will here, it means that this person is sure that by the end of the year, he is going to see his mom, right? But if we use would, it means that the fellow is unsure. If by the end of the year, he's going to see his mom, all right? As easy as ABCD. Okay. Another one. If I dash to the cinema, I dash buy you some popcorns. All right. So if I dash to the cinema early, let's put early here. I dash buy some popcorns. All right. So if let's say we put if I leave, okay, the cinema. If I leave the cinema early, I dash buy you. So if we put would here now as a past tense, what does it mean? It means that it is less likely that this fellow will return early from the cinema and purchase this popcorn. All right. But if we use will, that shows that this fellow is sure that he's going to leave this cinema early and he's going to purchase the popcorn. Okay. That's that for real and unreal statements. Very easy. You see, I'm going to make English very easy for you. Let's look at sentence detachment before we look at syllable. All right, syllable. We also have monophthong and diphthong. Word stress. Word stress. Okay. Stress syllable or word stress. Okay, let's say stress syllable. Stressed syllable. What is a syllable? Syllable is what unit of pronunciation. For example, we are looking at this syllable itself, this word syllable. Si is one unit, le is another unit, bul is another unit. So how many syllables do we have in the word syllable? 3 syllables. 3 words, syllables. All right. So that's syllable, unit of pronunciation. So what stress syllable means is that is the short attention given to a particular syllable. All right. Stressing it, making it so obvious that is being pronounced. That's stress syllable. As simple as A, B, C, D. All right. That's stress syllable. During the pronunciation. So how do we do stress syllable? It's very easy now. The first thing to do, break it down, break the word down into syllable. To find the stress in a word, break the word down into its syllable. Okay, I just taught you what syllable is. You break it down. After breaking it down, pronounce the word and listen to the details. Listen to details. What are the details that you are looking out for? Details of the word during pronunciation. All right. Stress are usually pronounced longer. All right. For example, information. Where do we have the stress? May. That's why it's pronounced longer. Okay. It usually has a what? Higher pitch. Pronounced at a what? Higher pitch. That's why you have information. Information. Okay. Another one is slower. Pronounced slower. So that's where you have the stress. So if you listen to native speaker, always pay attention to the place. Okay. The place that this usually occur in the during the course of pronouncing the word. Longer pronunciation, higher pitch, and slower. Just listen to that part. Information, communication. It's always easy to detect. So observe stress patterns. Okay. But before we observe stress pattern, most stress words are part of speech. Like the most common one is noun, adjective, adverb. Okay. Which other one again? Verbs. Verbs. These are the most common stressed word. Okay. All right. So let's observe. Let's look at the patterns, common patterns. 2 syllable. We are starting with 2 syllable word. Okay. For 2 syllable word, patterns. For 2 syllable word, 2 syllable word. If the word is a verb, for verb, you usually have it where? In the second syllable. All right. Then if the word is a noun, you usually have it where? In the first syllable. Nouns and adjective. Okay. Nouns / adjective. You have it in the first syllable. All right. Let's take a look at noun. For example, noun or adjective. For example, 2 syllable noun. We have a word like object. Break it down into the syllable. Ob and ject. Okay. Where do we have the stress syllable? Object. So we pronounce it as object. Then looking at adjective, we have feeble as an adjective. Break it down into syllable. Fee. Then bull. All right. Where do we have it? We have the stress. We usually have the stress syllable in the first. These are patterns. So feeble, feeble. All right. 2 syllable words. All right. Then for verb, if it's a verb, we usually have it in the second syllable. All right. For example, present. All right. Present. present. We usually have it here, this zent. All right, so we pronounce it present. We usually have the stress syllable here, this zent. All right, present, 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 present. All right, prepare. Another one again is prepare, verb. Prepare, prepare. All right, prepare. That's why it's pronounced. All right, it's pronounced. Then another pattern we observe is 3 syllables, right? Okay, 3 syllables word. Let's look at 3 syllables. Okay, before we do that, let's look at suffix. Okay, suffixes. Before we enter 3 syllables, let's look at suffixes. You know, I've taught you before that suffix means ending. Prefix means what? Beginning. All right. So let's look at suffix pattern. Suffix. All right. The pattern that you should observe in suffix. All these suffix, any word ending in IC, that's ik, ending in shion, S-I-O-N, ending in shon and shian, shian and shion, T-I-O-N. All these words, any word that end in any of these, okay, these suffixes, they usually have their stress syllable in the syllable before this. Okay, in the syllable before this suffix, that's where they have their stress syllable. For example, this one, electric. Okay, we write this one, electric. All right, electric. All right, electric. So the stress syllable should be here, this leg. All right, electric. The next we have is extension. All right, so the syllable before the ik. Let's use extension. So we break it down, x, 10, then shion. Where should we have the stress syllable 10? The next is shian. Okay, let's use electrician. Where should we have the syllable? Breaking it down, elec. Okay, e stands alone, elec. Then trician, tree. Then shian. Where should we have the stress syllable? Shian and tree. Okay, before the shian, right? Then the final one, shon, communication. All right, breaking it down, we have ko, we have mu, we have ni, we have k, then we have shon. Where should we have the stress syllable? We have it here at k, shon. So take note of these patterns. All this one are just free mark. Okay, then compound words. Okay, compound words such as compound noun stress the first part of the compound, you know, the compound word. Compound noun stress the first part, while adjective and verb stress the second. For example, compound noun. Noun. Okay, compound adjective. Hope you know the meaning of compound noun and compound adjective, adjective and verb. Adjective slash verb. Okay, this usually stress the second syllable. This the second word. Okay, this usually stress the first word. Compound noun and compound adjective. Anything compound word are 2 words add together to form 1 word. Okay, you add 2 words together to form 1 word. That's compound word. For example, for compound noun, we have sunglass, sun and glass, sunglass. Where are we going to stress? It says stress the first, Abby. So the stress should be in sun. The next one is notebook. Notebook. Where do we stress? The first. Then for compound verb and adjective, well known is for adjective, well known. What do we stress? We stress the second, right? So known is the stress. Then for verb is bypass. Bypass. Where do we stress? The pass, right? As simple as A, B, C, D. All right. Then the next rule is merge words. Okay. Any merge word stresses the parent word. Any merged word stresses the word, the parent word. Any merged word stresses the parent word. For example, let's see. For example, we have acknowledgement, acknowledge, knowledgement. All right. The parent word in this acknowledgement, ack. Okay, ack, knowledge. Okay, meant. The parent word here is this knowledge. Knowledge is the parent word. Now be the only word where BCP stand on its own here. Knowledge. So the stress should be expected to be this knowledge. Okay. Another one is supernatural. Supernatural. Where is the parent word? The parent word is natural, right? So we have the stress here because it's talking about natural. That the natural is a super one. Right? So that's that. Then the final one is this the final one? The last but not the least is another suffix pattern. Okay. Any word that end in y, ly, that's li, er, y, usually stress the first syllable. All right. Stress the first syllable. For example, carefully. All right. Carefully. Care. Fully. This is where we have the stress. In care. Okay. So if we write this, we write care as one syllable. Then we write full as another one. Then we write li as the final syllable. We have the stress syllable here, the first. Another one is perfectly. Perfectly. Okay. Rewriting this, we have perfectly. All right. So we have the stress syllable here, fect. Sorry, the first syllable, pa. All right. That's that for that. Then this one, silent word with silent syllable have the stress syllable in the first. All right. Words like name, like Clinton. Words with silent syllable. Okay. Here we have a silent sound here. Okay. This on. It's supposed to be Clinton, but it's called Clinton because the O is silent. So we have clean, then tin. All right. Clinton. So we have the stress syllable in the syllable before the silent word. That's clean is the stress syllable. Clinton. Another one is marijuana. Marijuana. Okay. If you don't pronounce it like this, it will be difficult to spell marijuana. All right. Marijuana. So this is pronounced marijuana like this. You pronounce it like this. Marijuana. Okay. Marijuana. So if you want to write the syllable, we write so we write M-A, then the ro. Okay. Ro. Then we write Anna. So where do we have the silent? We have the silent in this G. This place that we have this G, that's the silent sound. G, marijuana. So before this G, what syllable do we have there? We have re. That's R-O-I. All right. Or ma. Okay. It's between, since it's pronounced marijuana, it means that the syllable should be here. Ma. So ma is the stress syllable. So that's that for word stress. Now let's quickly treat sentence detachment before we treat monophthong, diphthong. Then we treat interview preparation. All right, how to prepare for your interview, which is the final one. Sentence detachment. So when you come across sentence that are quite difficult, or maybe the sentence they turn your eye. The sentence they turn your eye, they give you tough time. Just apply the principles of sentence detachment. All right, it's very easy. Apply the principles of sentence detachment. All right, sentence detachment. All right, sentence detachment in writing is different from the one that I want to teach you here. Okay, this one is just a technique to, answering difficult questions or questions that is giving you tough time. All right, questions that are giving you tough time. All right, so the first thing to do is when you come across a sentence, the first step is write out every meaningful details you can make out of that sentence. Maybe you come across a sentence, fill in the blank space. They ask you to put what is supposed to be there. Okay, that's what you are supposed to do. Write out every meaningful details you can make up from the sentence. For example, this sentence detachment pattern is usually best for attending to questions under filling the gap. Okay, filling the gap kind of question is very reliable to some extent. It's just having some extra, tool in your toolbox. All right. So let's say the question is, the student think that WAEC likes to fill many candidates. All right. The student thinks that WAEC like to fill many candidates. Let's just write a simple sentence here. The students think that WAEC likes to fill candidates. All right. So this is the sentence. So the first rule states that write out every meaningful details you can make out of this sentence. Okay. Okay. So that's it. That's the first step. So what do? We write out every meaningful statement you can make out of the sentence. The student think that WAEC likes to fill candidates. Candidates. All right. So the first thing that we are writing out from this sentence, first detail is the student thinks something, right? The student thinks something. Think something. Remember Concord, law of Concord, right? The student is the subject, and it's plural. It should be what? The verb should be what? Should be also plural verb. So that's why we are using think here. Think something. All right. Another thing. Let's look for the second one. Number 2. The student thinks that WAEC likes to fill. WAEC likes something. WAEC likes, grammatical concord again, likes something. All right. Which other thing? Okay. The student thinks that WAEC likes to fill candidates. Okay. Okay. WAEC, another one, the third one that we are writing, a third detail. WAEC likes to fill candidates. All right. So we are able to write out three meaningful details from this sentence. All right. So let's take, for example, in this sentence, here is blank. Just watch how this works like magic. Imagine here is blank in this sentence. Okay. And you are told to find the missing, what is supposed to be here. After writing out all these meaningful details from the sentence, following grammatical concord, the answer is already looking at you there now. The students think, okay, the student is S, students, plural. The students think something. What is the answer? It's think now. You put your think there, get your mark, come on there. What if they remove this one and put another blank space here? This has given you the answer. WAEC likes something. Okay? WAEC likes. WAEC likes to fill candidates. So the answer is what? Likes. As simple as A, B, C, D. Okay? But the thing is that for you to use sentence detachment, you need idea in other parts of English. That's why I taught you every other topics in English. Okay, I taught you every other topic in English so that you'll be able to use sentence detachment. You can see where we are bringing this sentence detachment topic close to the end of our lesson, because you need all the knowledge you can get for you to be able to apply this sentence detachment efficiently. All right. There is also some parts that you are going to need the pronoun, the verb be and its family rule. Okay, the verb be and its family, like was, are, am, where, and so on and so forth. Is. Okay. There are parts when you are writing out your meaningful details you are making out from the sentence, ensure they follow grammatical rules. All right. Provided they follow grammatical rules, you are on the right track. All right. So another thing, for sentences containing pronouns, while you are doing this, writing out meaningful details for a sentence, for sentences containing pronouns, check if the blank space should be object or subject. For example, if you have pronoun here, okay, if there is supposed to be pronoun here, if it's a pronoun that is supposed to be here, or it's a pronoun that is supposed to be here, figure out if that position is supposed to be occupied by a subject kind of pronoun or an object kind of pronoun. Remember when I taught you pronoun, I taught you the kind, the types of pronoun that are found in subject and object position. For example, you have I can be in the subject position, I can also be in the object position. You have you can be in the subject position. You can also be in the what? Object position. You have we in the subject position, and you have us in the object position. You have which other one again? You have me in the object position, and you have me. You have okay, you have she in the object position. You have me. You have her in the object position. Okay, and so on and so forth. What this me should be what? I, me, I, me. Okay, I. So I in the object position, I in the subject position, then me in the object position. So ensure you note that the pronoun that should occupy that position is that part the subject position or the object position. That is going to guide you to picking the right choice of pronoun that should be placed there. All right, it's very easy. Just follow the rules. Then number two, the second step. Okay, the second step of using sentence detachments. How do we do that? The second step is check for English law compliance, such as Concord. I already spoke about this before. Concord, grammatical concord, notional concord, proximity concord, concord of subordinated subjects, pronouns and the word, the verb be, and so on and so forth. All I have taught you. Ensure that you follow grammatical concord. Also, then the final one, choose the right option, just like we chose the right option in that example. All right. So let's look at another example. Another example, some of the ladies that, okay, so here there's a blank space, and what should be here is either sell or sells. Okay, rice. There's another blank space here, and what should be here should be either have or has been arrested. All right, so some of the ladies that dash rice dash been arrested. Okay, so how do we figure out what we should put here? Okay, we can apply sentence detachment. So the very first step is to write out all the meaningful details we can make out of this sentence. Okay, number one is what? Is some of the ladies that dash rice. Okay, that dash rice. Some of the ladies sell rice. Okay, so some ladies, following grammatical concord, we are going to put what here? Ladies is plural, right? So the verb should be what? Should be plural verb too, right? So we should use sell rice. So some ladies sell rice. Some of the ladies that dash rice, sell. So we already know that some ladies sell rice. That's the first clue. Number two is dash been arrested. How's that? I mean, okay, so some ladies following grammatical concord have been arrested. We are writing out another details now. Some ladies have been arrested. Okay, some ladies have, following grammatical concord, we use what? The same plural verb. Since we have plural now here, we use plural verb. Okay, have, okay, been arrested. So it follows grammatical what? Concord. It follows English laws. So we already have the answers now, right? Some of the ladies that dash, some ladies, provided what you have here is still what you have here. So the answer is the next. Sell is the answer. We pick sell rice, okay, dash, okay, some ladies have been arrested. Provided is ladies, we have there, okay, the same ladies, okay, have been arrested. So have is the correct option. So we put our have been arrested. That's the answer, as easy as ABCD. The magic of sentence detachment. So you are going to come across sentences that are difficult to split like this. You are going to come across sentences that are difficult to split. Just like sentences that are difficult to split. Maybe they are too short or something. What do you do in such situation? Let me show you. All right. I'm going to equip you. I'm going to give you everything you need. Okay. You are never going to be caught unaware. All right. So when you encounter difficult to split sentence, difficult to split, what do you do? What do you do? You rewrite the sentence. All right. For example, Who are you? You see? Okay. Who are you? You can't split this sentence. For example, they put dash here. Okay, they said dash are you question mark. You can't split this sentence now, right? So what you are going to do is to rewrite. Dash are you is the same thing as you are dash. It's the same thing. Okay, you rewrite it or you rephrase it. You bring the subject, the object to the subject, and you rephrase it. All right. You are dash are you and you are dash is correct. So this means that what is a pronoun that is supposed to be here. Okay, it's a pronoun that is supposed to be here. All right. Who are you? Who? All right. Who are you? So it's a pronoun that is supposed to be here. The option is, the options are who and whom. All right. Who / whom. Those are the options. All right. So what are we going to put here? You can see that it's a pronoun that is supposed to be here, and the pronoun is supposed to be object position. Right. This is the object position. This is the subject. This is the verb. This is the object position. Okay. Are we just to put who here, whom here? Whom? Are we to pick whom and say you are whom? Therefore, we say whom are you? Whom are you? Are we supposed to do that? Remember, we have just followed, or we have just taken the first step, okay, which is what? Rewriting. We are supposed to observe, we have checked, and we have understood that it's a pronoun that is supposed to be there, and it's a pronoun that is an object position, a pronoun that occupies object position that is supposed to be there. But now, does the sentence that we have made, does it follow grammatical law? That's what we are going to figure out now. Does this follow grammatical law? No. Remember, the verb be and its family, like is, are, were, was, am, and so on and so forth. They don't take object pronoun. They don't take object, any of these verbs, they don't go with object pronoun. So here we have are. So that means that the answer can never be object pronoun like whom. So the correct option should be who. Okay, so we should write it as you are who, which is the same thing as who are you? Who are you? All right, correct. So that's the easiest way of solving what English filling the the blank questions using sentence detachment or splitting of sentence. All right. So there are some additional details for exam tips in the lesson notes. Okay. Ensure you look at the additional tips. All right. And note something very important. This sentence detachment should be your last resort to answering these kinds of questions in exam condition. All right. Don't do this. Don't use this as your first attempt or your first alternative. No. Okay. It's when you try to apply other means, it didn't work. You can't you couldn't figure out the answer. You couldn't navigate your way. That's when you resort to sentence detachment. Okay. So don't just start with sentence detachment or splitting of sentences. All right. So let's look at monophonic and diphthong in our next class, and we do our interview, and that's going to be the final lesson for